Welcome to the official Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society's podcast. I'm your host, Barnaby, and you're listening to Whispers from the Dark. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Whispers from the Dark. I am your host, Barnaby, and we are gearing up for the 100th episode here of Cryptids, Anomalies, and the Paranormal Society's Whispers from the Dark. All right, guys, we got a couple things to get to here right off the bat. Of course, we have our brand new series on the Trail of Undiscovered Beasts, which is currently airing on Paraflix. If you go to our website, click on the Paraflix link and use the promo code CAPS10, you can get 10% off your first 3 months of Paraflix. So go ahead and get that rolling. Up next, you guys, if you haven't checked out our website, we have merchandise. We have everything you could ever want, from t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, magnets, stickers, mugs, tote bags, tank tops, pillows, pins, all kinds of stuff on there. And you can get any of our shows, from Undiscovered Beasts to Monday Morning Monsters, our generic Caps t-shirts, and a whole lot more. So go check that out. And as long as you're online, make sure you go to all of our social media platforms. We are Wisconsin Caps on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and Patreon. And you can find Whispers from the Dark and Monday Morning Monsters wherever you find podcasts, and WI Caps on Instagram. All these links are on our website at wisconsincaps.com. And of course, we want to tell you, I would love to tell you all about our newest project, Ghost Lab Project. But unfortunately, we can't tell you much about that yet. It is something that we have in the works coming this spring. If you want to know all about it, head on over to our Patreon page, because a lot of that is going to be exclusively on Patreon. Our first coming up event this spring is going to be the Frogman Festival, and that is in Mason, Ohio in March. The Hagood Mill is in March as well in South Carolina, East Tennessee in April, the Ohio Bigfoot Conference in May, Hodag Heritage Festival in May, Small Town Monsters Festival also, I believe, is in, I think that one's in June. And then that brings us to the Marinette Menominee Bigfoot and Paranormal Convention, June 9th and 10th in Marinette, Wisconsin. This is going to be a huge event. The CAPS team is giving a big presentation on paranormal activity in Menominee, Wisconsin, including the Menominee Curse and a bunch of investigations in downtown Menominee, Michigan. So that is really cool. We have a lot of stuff, and we're looking forward to announcing our final speaker coming up in the couple next weeks. And then we are heading to Upper Michigan, to Sault Ste. Marie for Paracon in August, and back to South Carolina in September. And then the Great Lakes Paranormal Conference in Glen Beulah, Wisconsin, September 22nd through the 24th. There's a huge lineup of speakers for this event. Make sure that you get your tickets and come on out and check that out. All right, that was a lot of talking. I'm done now. So now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to bring on our guests for this week. They are new members of the CAPS team. They are part of the CAPS Academy class. Welcome to the show, Robert and Jennifer. How you guys doing?
Good. How are you doing, Barnaby?
I'm doing good. Thanks for coming on today.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
All right. You guys are podcast virgins here, huh?
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we could pop that for you. So, first of all, let's start with Robert. Robert, tell us a little bit about yourself and what your interests are.
Well, I'm originally from Dodge County, the Beaver Dam area. Let's see here. Graduated high school in 2008 in Menasha, Wisconsin, and I currently live in New Holstein, Calumet County.
I see. Very cool. And what got you into all this weird paranormal and Bigfooty stuff?
Well, it's been a long time interest of mine, and I've always wanted to, start a paranormal group or join a group, and and go out and look for and investigate this stuff, because it's just always been a passion of mine. I've always been curious about this stuff, and since middle school, I've always, since I never fit in with normal kids, if you want to say. I've always been drawn to, like, especially in the library, I've always been drawn to, like, books on the paranormal, this and that, and and ever since then, that's been, been lifelong passion of mine. So, yeah,
Very
yeah,
cool. And
yep.
Jennifer, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got wrapped up in all this.
Well, I'm actually from Random Lake, Wisconsin and stuff, but I got into it a little bit, but mostly I started getting more into it because of him right here, Robert next to me. So it thinking as much as I used to be, but after him, I started getting into a lot more. So
She slowly got into the ghost hunting, the paranormal, and then I got her into the cryptids, the Bigfoot stuff. Ever since we started meeting up with and getting together with David Children, which of course you know. So now she's fully, fully invested. So
Well, that's good.
so
Once it gets in your blood, it's hard to get back out. You got
exactly, exactly.
that original thing bites you. Whatever it is that's out there, it gets
oh
into
yeah,
you, and
Yep.
you have this need to find out more. And every
Yes.
time that you have one question answered, it seems like 500 more pop up, and it just keeps rolling and rolling and rolling. So
Yep.
or I just need to try and go out and do it, and I'm like, yep, I gotta do it. I want to. After the feeling I've had a few times, a little bit, I need to do it. I'm like,
You
see
know,
what I can do again and see what the feeling I get if it's different.
what's really cool is you just came out with your latest episode at the Grand Opera House.
Mhm.
In fact, it was only 2 years ago that us and our friend Tammy, who I was supposed to start a paranormal investigation team with, but unfortunately, because she's being a mom and she's married, so she doesn't really have a whole lot of time to go out and investigate. But anyway, the three of us actually investigated at the Grand Opera House in Oshkosh a couple years ago, and she
I
had
had the feeling of my hair getting touched.
you're in the theater area where your friend Barbara had her hair messed with, and
So did I.
yep, I had to tell her that right away after I finished watching your episode.
Nice.
I had that feeling. He was on the opposite side, and then Tammy and I were on one side, and my hair got touched and everything. Both 2 times already that we're on that side.
So you were in the same area that Barbara was too.
Her and our friend Tammy were sitting in one of those booths, So I was sitting by myself on the other side, and her and Tammy were sitting on the opposite side, on the right hand side. And so I'm sitting by myself, trying to communicate with whoever, trying to come sit next to me and make themselves known. And the whole time while I'm sitting there trying to make contact, they were getting a lot of activity.
Especially I was, because I got it.
So it appears that whoever was there with us was pretty curious about this person right here.
Well, that's really cool. That is really interesting that you have those two coinciding things like that. So let's talk a little bit more about the Opera House. What else did you guys have happen there? Did you have any experiences with the lights?
No, we actually did not experience a whole lot. We did investigate in the basement, the dressing room area where you guys were with Derek, where you did that little experiment where you blindfolded yourself. What was the name of that room?
Yep.
Yeah. What was the name of that room?
That would have been the dressing room number 2, or the large dressing room.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think that was it. Yes, we were definitely in there. Our friend Tammy did use the spirit box, but unfortunately we didn't get no voices or nothing. So, but we did investigate the whole area, and other than the theater area, we didn't investigate. We didn't get a whole lot of activity, but we were told about the phantom dog that's been seen on the theater, on the stage, which was pretty interesting. Yeah.
And when
Very
we're in
cool.
theater, we saw, actually, she got a picture, a good amount of the women in the white dress.
Yeah, up on the balcony where you guys were,
Mhm.
So our friend Tammy has the SLS camera, so I happened to take some pictures, and I noticed in the back on the soundstage on the glass, It looked like a woman. It could be pareidolia, but it looks like a woman wearing one of those 1800s. You know what I'm talking about? Those
The dress.
the dress. So I don't know if this is the woman that people are talking or supposedly they see up there. I'll have to send you that photo because it's rather interesting. But it looks like a woman looking down on us.
That's very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, we had the thermal running all night on the stage up in that area, and we didn't catch anything like cold spots or anything through the whole thing. I kind of skimmed through it, but yeah.
But it looked like you guys got more activity than we did with the lights turning off and on.
Supposedly, I think it's in the episode, we were told that the team that had just come in the week prior had those same events.
Really?
With the stage light and the piano light coming on. So,
but the thing with us though, we were only there for like 4 hours, so we couldn't stay for a whole lot for like the whole night. So that's what sucked about it.
Yeah, I think we were there for like 4 or 6. We weren't there much longer than that.
Okay. So. Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately that when we were there, we didn't.
But still, it was a good experience either way to be there and try and see what we could do. So and then.
It was a good learning experience for her to, I'm glad that she's learning and getting into it, and surprisingly she didn't freak out or nothing.
Nope.
So was that your first paranormal outing?
For us too, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
My first investigation was with my friend Tammy, with a team that she was in that she's no longer a part of, because the one of the members of that group took the team from beneath her, and so now she supposedly I'm gonna help her. Well, we were anyway gonna start our own team, but unfortunately, because being a parent, she hasn't had a whole lot of time to go out and do it. So. But anyway, the first place that I investigated was at the USS Cobia in Manitowoc at the Maritime Museum. I don't know if you've investigated there yet at all.
I have not. I have not done any boat investigating. How was that?
It was pretty awesome. We got access to the whole submarine, so it's another place to definitely check out. Yep. Pretty interesting. Didn't get a whole lot of.
Well, I was going to ask you what kind of activity you got.
We didn't get a whole lot of activity, but my friend Tammy brought one of her kids along, and supposedly he captured a possible apparition on one of his photographs of one of the spirits that we think we were communicating with. So it was rather interesting. So.
And that on that submarine, you probably could, because it's pretty big a little bit. So.
Yeah, we were there. We were there from like 8 till midnight, 8 till 11. So again, we were there obviously for for quite a while. So obviously the tour guide was there, so we had to make sure just keep an eye on the place. So we couldn't we couldn't investigate the museum itself, but it was the submarine. So yeah, that was my first time, my first ghost hunt. Yep.
So what is it like being inside of a submarine? Is it really claustrophobic? I feel like going into a submarine would be like inside of a tin can, very small, a lot of compact stuff.
If you go down in the basement areas, it can be very claustrophobic. So you do it when you're walking around in the submarine. You got to make sure you duck a lot, because otherwise you can easily. If you know what I mean.
That's not something I'm good at. If you've seen any of our shows.
No, in a submarine, you really need to. I've been in one. Yeah, you need to really watch, and they'll tell you, watch and duck. And some people still don't listen. And no, it is tight quarters.
Especially when you walk around in the dark, you constantly got to keep an eye on your head. Kind of like when we were at Bean Snappers a couple years ago, and we were down in the basement. You know what I mean?
Sounds like a good place to send Derek to investigate.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
He would be perfect.
Being so short, yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
He could fit perfectly.
Perfect. I think he keeps talking about some. I don't know if it's a submarine or something, but there's one that he wanted to go investigate. I'm not sure if that's that one, but um, he has this whole list of places that he wants to go, but there's only so
Well,
much time.
Mantuarc's not that far from Fond du Lac, so it could be it.
Possibly. So where else have you gone before the whole academy stuff?
What's that? What do you mean?
Where else have you investigated? What else have you done?
Well, we also did the Sheboygan Asylum a couple years ago for the public tour and investigation.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we were there from like 7 or 8 till
No, we were actually did the 11 to 2 a.m.
Yeah, 11 to 2 a.m. Yep, and that was rather interesting. So there's one of the places that we ended up at was somewhere in the basement area. There's a room where supposedly there's a spirit of a man that resides who doesn't like men, like he only shows himself to women apparently.
And he did.
And she was, and again,
I
didn't have no experiences, but
I felt coldness, and I felt him there, right next to me a little bit, and I had another woman next to me too. So, yeah.
We were also in the part of the basement. If you've seen the show Destination Fear,
I've been to the Sheboygan Asylum, so.
Okay, in the basement where they captured a photograph of the Shadow Manson scene.
Okay.
So we were
is that down in the tunnels?
Yes. Yeah.
The area with all the big pipes. Yeah. Okay. That was the creepiest place when we were down there.
Yeah, they say the Shadow Man resides down there, and he doesn't like his picture being taken. So, and anyway, we were down there, and some of the people were doing the spirit box, and they were getting voices of a male voice saying, "Don't do that," because certain people try to take pictures, and it seems this entity, this spirit, was warning everybody to not take pictures because that's what they say is that this shadow man, doesn't like to get his picture taken, and he's about 7 feet tall, so he's pretty tall. So yeah.
Yeah. Out of all the rooms in Sheboygan Asylum, I think that was the creepiest for us. We ended up down in the boiler room. Did you guys get to go do that one?
I think we did.
Okay.
We didn't get that much action, but I think when we switched and went upstairs, because you put a few things of your stuff, and there was that one room that kept going off.
One of the hallways that we were at on the 3rd floor, I believe, we were sitting. I had some of my equipment set up at my laser grid, and one of the investigators had their REM pod set up in one of the rooms, and it kept going off as we were in the hallway. So it appears that something in that room was causing the REM pod. So, and we heard a lot of we heard possible footsteps, and we heard like a lot of like shuffling, this and that. But
that REM pod kept going off like crazy every time she asked a question or said stop, and it would, and then she asked another thing, and no matter what, it kept going off, and there was nobody in that room the whole time.
There's no electricity or nothing for it to be going off. So and then back in the basement area that's where we first ended up at. There's people that said they had seen shadows. So obviously I didn't see anything. So who knows? There was a couple girls on the tour that claimed they were psychic or sensitive. So they supposedly felt things. So
I've heard a lot of stories of people that have gone there besides our group. It was myself and Nico and my mom went back in, I think it was 2019. We actually were there, and we had some experiences, and I know a few other people had experiences in, I think they call it the chapel. It's like a schoolroom with a lot of like paintings on the wall of like sailboats and sunsets and sunrises and stuff. Did you have any experiences in that area?
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
No.
When we were down
because also with the chapel a little bit too around there, they had also close to it, they had the handprints of everybody that was down there and all this stuff. But that's where also too the little girl. It was the little girl and stuff, and she tried to put something for a toy for the little girl to play with, and kind of nothing. But yeah, it was the chapel. We were kind of all in there, but still we got to see the handprints and then all the other things that were on the wall and stuff. And
One
yeah.
thing about that place too is for anybody watching, just so you know, there are certain areas of the building you're not allowed to take pictures or any videos because they got a lot of antiques in the building. So they get a lot of break-ins like they did a year or two ago. So yeah, so they're pretty strict. There's a lot of rules you got to follow in that place.
And no filming at all unless
Yep.
it's I guess they let you film now if it's a monitor camera like security cameras or something,
Yep.
but no walking around filming. So yeah,
Yep.
that's why we've never done an episode from there, because we couldn't film. So
the place is awesome to investigate, but they do tend to charge a lot for investigating there. So, but
that's a big place though.
It is. It's very big.
It is very good place to go and check out, definitely.
And I told people, and when I told her, like obviously told her, I could easily spend the night in that place.
Yes, you could.
I could easily sleep in that basement. Have my equipment set up. You know, I'm okay with that. little noises here and there doesn't creep me out or nothing.
I guess while we're here, I should promote this since I'm part of it. Back to the Great Lakes Paranormal Conference here. The guy running it also does the Sheboygan Asylum, and during Friday and Saturday night, you can come out and take the Sheboygan Asylum tours with some of the people on speaking there, and I will be one of the guests running the tours there. So I know myself and Tobias Wayland, and I think Lyle Blackburn. And Adam Barry will be there. So different ones of the people, the presenters, including myself, will be leading different expeditions on Friday and Saturday night. So you can go to their website and or on Facebook and get information and tickets for that. So Sheboygan Asylum.
Yeah, we are definitely planning on going to that because I live right near Glenville. So because I do a lot of hiking at the Greenbush area. The Kettle Moraine, so yeah, we do.
And we're planning on coming to the one in June.
We are going to the Monster Fest in Canton, Ohio, in June. So yes, and the Marinette Bigfoot convention. I will try to make it to that. I can't promise you I'll be there.
Awesome.
Because I do want to meet, obviously, Chad Lewis, but I also love to meet Christopher Noel because I got a few of his books, and I just finished reading one of them, so his books are rather interesting.
Definitely interesting guy. A lot of people who aren't familiar with Christopher Noel does a lot of really cool research and a very unique perspective on Bigfoot and the topic, and he's going to be an amazing speaker. Yeah. And I really want to talk about our other speaker there, and I can't yet. But I've said this on other shows before, so I'm going to say it again. He is a television personality that has not been at any other convention.
Oh, really? Okay.
So this is going to be the first time that he's going to be at a convention, but we can't announce it because he hasn't sent us his promotional stuff yet. So he has agreed to come. He's going to be there, but just waiting for some last minute stuff. And
just can't announce it yet.
Just can't announce it yet. So hopefully soon. And for anybody listening, if you want to go to the VIPs, you have to get your tickets by May for the Marinette Menominee Bigfoot Paranormal Convention because of the dinner. We have to have a final count for that by May. So all the information is on our website, wisconsincaps.com.
Okay. So my plan is I'm trying to find a bunch of people to get together and not only go to that convention, but also do a camping trip up to Mountain because I know you've had a lot of experiences up there, and I know you said there was a sighting up there not too long ago too. So I definitely want to try. I definitely want to get up there and do some exploring up there. Yeah. That's my plan anyway.
Awesome. Well, let's talk about a little bit. I don't know how much you can talk about because I mean this isn't our thing, but you guys have gone out with Jay Bachochin.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So you guys have had some experiences down in the southern Kettle Moraine. Can you talk about any of that stuff?
Yeah, we can. A lot of it's got to be like, if we can both remember a lot of it. I remember most of it, so
I remember a lot of the howls, big time. I've heard a lot of those, and
Yeah,
especially when we did a nighttime one. That's when I heard it and didn't realize it was that. And
2 summers ago when we met up with Jay, we were at an area where it's a clearing where he captured on his night vision binoculars a mist that appeared to walk by the night vision binoculars, and whatever it was, it never came back. So him and I tried to, well, he tried to debunk it, see if it's anything that could be anything natural. I thought maybe because, at nighttime, especially out in the woods, the grass gets wet. So I thought maybe if condensation, if that would maybe cause that, but whatever it was, it never came back. So then again, we were in an area where there's been a lot of Bigfoot sightings and other strange phenomena. So of course, obviously at that time she was having a lot of problems with her legs, so she was in a lot of pain. So we had to walk back to his vehicle, and that's when a lot of the other weird stuff that we experienced, and of course the howl that we
I
three of us heard.
big time.
Yeah,
Well,
but
tell
you
us
can
about it.
also.
What did it sound like? How loud was it? What do you think it was?
At first, I thought it was an owl, but it sounded more like a not a coyote, maybe like a dog, like it was a very long, like a banshee. Uh, if you watch Jay's new documentary, though, it's in this documentary too. But I still think maybe it was an owl. But according to Jay, he's 100% convinced it was from a Bigfoot. So, and this was as we were walking back to his vehicle, and the whole time when we were walking back to the vehicle, we kept hearing what sounded like something was in the woods, was
Following us.
following us, like something was escorting us out of there. It was rather interesting. So I did a Facebook Live a lot on the way back, and I asked Jay, "Do you think if he thinks that the Sasquatch can understand us?" And he says he believes they can. So I tried talking with him and let him know that we're just out here being respectful and trying to, you know, trying to make, just be respectful and trying to learn from them, this and that. We mean them no harm, or So yeah, it was a rather interesting, very weird night. But surprisingly, more weird stuff happened when we after he dropped us off back at our campsite. We were camping at the Ottawa State Park. Something weird happened to me as she went to she went to sleep. I was
Yep.
still up by myself for quite a while. So as I was getting ready to go lay down, I I took the fire out and was putting stuff away in her car. And next thing you know, I hear something hit the table, the picnic table, and it was a rock. Now remind you, all the campers around us were asleep. So it sounded like somebody was trying to throw a rock at me and hit the picnic table.
And there are only trees. That's it. Above him is trees, nothing else. But yeah, and then when I woke up and I went to check, I looked at the ground. Yeah, sure enough, there was a rock right on
I showed her the rock
below the picnic table.
I showed her the rock, and it was a pretty good sized rock. So I don't know. My best guess is maybe it fell from a tree, but then again, what would a rock be doing up in a tree? You know what I mean? I don't want to.
And there was no leaves or nothing technically barely on the trees too. There was just branches, no leaves, nothing.
It was a pretty calm night, so there should be nothing falling down from the trees. So I have no explanation for that. There was a bunch of people camping around us, so I'm thinking to myself, if I'm thinking Bigfoot, how would it be a Bigfoot if there's people around us? You know what I mean? So if it's a Bigfoot, it's got to be a juvenile, maybe up in the trees, because I've heard the stories about juveniles like to mess with people, and very mischievous. So, but for the most part, I'm thinking rationally, like, could wind knock a rock down from a tree? But I don't know. It's weird. And this
How
happened
far
as I was.
how
What's
far
that?
away from where you were with Jay were you then? Like, do you think it was the same
This was
animal that followed you there?
That's what I was wondering, but this was quite a while after he dropped us off. We were up for quite a while. We were probably the only campers that were awake, and then she eventually went to go lay down. So I was up by myself, and then I got pretty tired. So I was like, all right, I'm getting ready to go lay down. I
Right,
um
but how far distance wise?
we were
From
probably
where you heard the howl and something was following you to your campsite? How far away was that?
where we were with Jay. We were near Eagle, if you know where that area is,
Okay.
in the Eagle, Wisconsin. So that area right there is where there's been a lot of the main, probably the main activity of Bigfoot, because that whole area is pretty wooded when it comes to the southern part of the Kettle
Right.
Moraine. So,
So how
but it was
far away from that were you?
Not quite sure how that is from Ottawa.
I was saying 30 minutes, 20, 30 minutes.
At least
Okay,
20
so quite a
We
minutes.
were in the
ways. Quite a ways.
we were in the Dalsman area.
Okay.
I don't know if you know where that is.
Yeah, about at least 20 minutes, a little bit, because we were at the Ottawa. This one.
Yeah, we were camping at the Ottawa, and where Jay took us was in the main areas of the Kettle where he does his research and investigating. So
Yeah,
that was
can't really say technically where we actually
Yep,
were.
no, that's fine. Yep.
There's
No,
certain places
I was
where
just
he doesn't
wondering,
want.
like, mile wise, if you're, like I said, if you guys were being, escorted out by one of these things, and
I
then
would say
something
at
happened at your
least 20.
campsite.
Yeah, at least 20 minutes or so. Like I said, we can't really say technically where, kind of, because he doesn't want people to know his
Yep.
spot.
Yep,
But I would say maybe at least
20, 30 minutes.
yeah, about that a little bit. And
Yeah, where Ottawa is. There's two campgrounds in that area. There's Pine Woods, where we camped this past year. Pine Woods Campground, which is very wooded, by the way. That's another area that I recommend. And then of course there's Ottawa. So there's two state parks in that area by Dalsman. And of course Dalsman has the Old World Wisconsin, where they do reenactments and this and that. So
Very cool. All right, we are going to take a quick break here, and we'll be back. We're going to talk about some of your experiences that you've had with CAPS. So you guys are part of the team now, a part of the academy out there learning with us, and we'll get into that right after these messages. Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Yowie, Grassman, Skunk Ape, Yahoo, Wild Man, Hairy Man. No matter what you call it, stories of large, upright ape creatures have been reported throughout recorded and oral histories around the world. Here in the United States, though, when you think of these creatures, you probably think of the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, Northern California, and you would be right. But did you know that Bigfoot has been reported in every state except Hawaii? It's true. Don't worry, we'll be covering all sorts of hairy, scaly, and feathered creatures on this show. But this season, we're going to start out with the ones that are right here in our team's backyard. We're going to focus on Bigfoot in Wisconsin. We're going to travel from the bottom of the state, where a woman had a gourd thrown at her from her own garden, and north to a man who saw one cross the road in front of his vehicle. Making our way even further up to a series of howls reported in the night and a trail of frozen footprints in the snow. Hunters, barkeeps, farmers, and auto mechanics all had run-ins with the big guy. So come along and follow the evidence on the trail of the undiscovered beasts. Ah, yes, the Undiscovered Beast on Paraflix streaming platform. It is $3.99 a month and about $30 a year. If you go to our website, you can get 10% off your first 3 months with promo code CAPS10. And you can see our show and Finding Jay and Finding Jay 2 by Jay Bachochin are now both streaming on Paraflix as well. So go check those out. And we are talking with Robert and Jennifer of Caps Academy. Hi guys, welcome back.
Hey.
Hey,
All right, so your first experience, we gotta get into this here. You
Yes.
guys are going to be in quite a bit of the cap stuff coming up here. You guys came out to well, first of all, the first thing that we're going to see is probably the most recent thing that we've done with you. In March, our second episode of this season comes out, and it is the episode from the Northern Kettle Moraine unit.
Yep.
So let's get into that a little bit and talk about me
Okay.
and Derek. Me and Derek came out and went for a pretty long hike with you guys that day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
A
it
lot
started,
longer than we thought we would.
yeah, it could have been a lot longer than what it was though. But
Yeah. But that was a heck of a time, though. We certainly it was a blast out there. That's for sure.
oh, definitely, definitely, it was a good time. So we saw a couple like what we could consider as stick structures, right?
Yes. Yep. Yep.
And we had that one really big one in the back.
For sure. Yes, it was very big.
it was.
There is no.
So
All I can say is there is no way that's natural. Somebody or
Yeah.
something made that. And I think you agree too.
oh yeah,
Obviously, I'm not gonna. Obviously, we don't know much about Bigfoot, but what we can say is it's not natural. Something intelligent with hands put those together. That's what That's what I'm gonna. Yeah.
I'm really excited. I've obviously seen it in person, and you have already seen it, and Jennifer and Derek as well. But I'm really excited to see and get some feedback on this from our viewers and stuff. And this I believe comes out in March.
Okay.
It's slated. I think it's the end of March is when this episode's going to air, and on our YouTube channel. And
Gotcha.
but it is a large structure, whatever it is.
It is.
And as you said, it definitely looks like it was made by something.
Yep.
And we get totally into this. I mean, I think there's about 20 minutes of the episode dedicated just to that structure and showing you. I mean, we were there for I think hour and a half just at that
At least.
structure.
At least just we were just walking around it, trying
Honestly,
to.
yeah, just walking around trying to figure it out here and there, going from one side to another, and then we went back around again, and
Try to look for any scat or any footprints, and
we literally checked it all out, the whole thing.
what's
In and
re-
out.
what
hair samples or footprints or any sign of humans
Yeah.
there.
and then
Boot
that's
prints
what I
or trash or anything.
yeah, and there was no trash or nothing, so it definitely wasn't what Derek thought it would be. It was a hobo.
I thought about leaving that in the episode, but it was too much to leave in for just a joke. There was well, let's go over this. So we get this comment just out of the blue about well who could have made this, and I make a comment about a hobo having constructed this thing, and Derek goes on this whole tangent about how a hobo isn't strong enough to bend this tree over, because there's in the structure there's this like bent over tree, a whole tree,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it's probably about 3.5 inch diameter tree, and Derek is dead convinced that a hobo could not bend over this tree. So
Yeah, it was all hobo.
we go around the structure several times, doing all of our thing. And I say to Derek, when we're done with this, I'll show you. I'll prove it. There's a tree over there. I'll show you. And I walked over, I grabbed the tree, I pulled it down with one hand and showed him, look, could a hobo do this? It was very entertaining. I mean, you would have had to been there, but
we were laughing the whole time we were hiking and on our way out of there. It was like I could not. There was no way I could not keep bringing it up. It was funny.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Nope.
That poor
Chris
guy.
just kept bringing up hobo.
And remind everybody too, this was our first time. Well, we met up with Barnaby before, but this was our first time actually meeting with Derek.
Yeah. So the first time that we met you guys was up in Mountain, Wisconsin.
No, yeah, you're right.
Yep.
The Bigfoot meet and greet. Yep.
Yep, that was when we were first starting our Mountain, Wisconsin research. We met up there.
Yep.
And then I think the next time was it was Bean Snappers.
Bean Snappers,
yep.
And then after that was the Menominee Marinette Convention.
Yep.
And then we get into the UFO episode and the other
The Dundee area.
The Bigfoot one that we're just talking about. So, but you had pretty much met everyone on the team at that point.
Yeah, it took us a while to meet Derek because like every time we met up with you, it was always you and Ma or maybe Ethan, but Derek was never around.
Ethan, Luke, Barbara, Resnick, you've met all them.
Yeah, until finally met up. Yeah, with Derek finally.
Well, I know you got like other members of the team, but it was always just you and Ma and Ethan. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But finally, we got to meet Derek, so that's awesome.
Derek, for everybody listening, Derek does not drive, so Derek has to be taken everywhere, and Derek lives south. So if we don't,
Unfortunately, I'm the same way. I don't drive, so I kind of sometimes have to rely on her too. So, yeah.
So anytime that we go north on any of our investigations, Mountain, Wisconsin, and Menominee, Marinette, and everywhere that you had met up with us, that's all north. So Derek doesn't do any of that stuff. You would have had to come down to the Milwaukee Paranormal Convention because he usually comes to that one. So, but so I gotta ask, what are you? Derek doesn't listen to this podcast. Don't worry.
Okay.
We'll just pretend he doesn't. What? How does your first meeting of Derek?
It was a blast. It's a blast, you know. It's like the guy. One thing about Derek, he likes to talk. That's for sure. He can talk your ear off, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, especially when I'm trying to look and see what you guys are looking for. I can't because he's talking. I'm like, I'm trying to look.
I'm actually surprised that you and him are actually the same height because Derek is, you know, he's a short guy.
Yeah, so. I know. I was surprised on that too. About the same height almost.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember
the shortest one of the team. Yeah,
I remember yours and Derek's conversation when I think we were on the way out of there. You were talking about how you're not really into the paranormal as much as he is, and then Derek was like give you crap like, well, why did you add paranormal to the name of the team? And I don't remember what your response was. What did you say to him?
Well, it's encompassing everything. The whole point of CAPS is to encompass, you know, the cryptids, the anomalies, and the paranormal.
Right. But you're more about the cryptids, and he's more about the paranormal. Yeah.
Right. Yep. I do mostly cryptids, but I do paranormal. I do everything obviously because I gotta edit it and I gotta run all the stuff. But yeah.
Yeah.
I've had enough paranormal experiences in my days already that I know there's something more out there. But
yeah. I believe it. Yeah. You know, when we found that the one part on the trail, we were right next to the restrooms. We found that bulletin board, and there was they had it said something about they were going to do a Bigfoot expedition out there, and you had you put your card there. Did you ever do a follow up with them guys?
I didn't put my card there. No.
Well, you put your CAPS business card on that board, didn't you?
No, we actually sent Rez down there to that.
Okay.
Which you will see on the episode. So we actually sent Rez to the Bigfoot expedition, and he actually got down there and did the whole hike with them and everything. So.
Well, I know you wanted to get out there too and do it too.
I did, but the reason why I sent Rez was I actually was filming for the UFO episode up in Elmwood, Wisconsin that same weekend.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, again, you are part of that episode coming up as well.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Hey, I'm not used to being on camera.
That's right. Yeah. You got to come out to we did some filming at the UFO days.
Yeah.
At Benson's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Benson's.
Yeah. The Benson's Hideaway.
The Bill Benson celebration, which was hosted by his daughter. And she was very surprised how much
a lot of people showed up for it, and
so she's talking about reopening this year. So
really?
if she opens up this year, we're planning on going back because 2 years in a row we camped at Long Lake, and then this year we want to go try out Mouthy Lake. So
well, you have to keep me abridged on that because I have not seen any of that online. In fact, even the this year's or this past year's one that we went to, I didn't see much info on either. So if you see
Okay.
anything, let me know about that.
Yeah, we
Absolutely.
definitely, because all I've seen right now is that the opening for the boats has been open. That's it, really. Nothing about the building or anything. So yeah, once we know more, we'll let you know. Because yeah, we're hoping that she actually does continue it.
So in case you're wondering why our screen is very dark, it's because my phone is actually about to die. So
Well, we're almost to the end here, so
for some reason I couldn't get this on my laptop. So this something I'm gonna have to get used to.
definitely.
Yeah.
Very cool. There you go. Now it's all lit up.
Yeah, it's on my laptop.
I made his laptop lighter.
Yep.
All right. Well, we got one more thing to cover here. For the Bean Snappers, you guys got to come out and do the paranormal tour and investigation of Bean Snappers, which is going to also be coming out later this year. We are introducing a brand new series on Paraflix. I think it is going to be Spirits of Macville. And it is all of our investigations and research and stuff that we've done at the Bean Snapper building or Gainer's Tavern. So
That's awesome.
You guys got to come out and check that out. What did you think of Bean Snappers?
It's very cool. I was actually surprised how kind of small it is on the outside. I was expecting it to be a really big building, but it's
doing that, and then having also been across from the cemetery, it was definitely, for me, it was a good experience. A little bit, definitely.
It's interesting how we didn't really get a whole lot. You guys had some interactions on the were the dancers Dan?
Action when I was on the stage.
What I'm saying is we really didn't get a whole lot of activity until we got down into the basement. We started hearing some knocking.
Weren't you there the night of Michael and
Madison?
That was the best night that we've had.
That's
Michael
what I said.
was freaking amazing.
It was, and Ma was still upstairs, and we heard that knocking on the ceiling, and you guys thought it was me. And I said no, it wasn't me, but it was right above my head though. So I know there was one time that Ma did do it, and we asked her, "Ma, is that you?" And she said, "Yeah," because we can hear upstairs moving around. So,
but we got good amount on the stage too. When Maggie and we went on the stage and a few times, her or both of us, and when we went on the stage, I remember that amount.
Yep. It was pretty funny when me and Mike were way in the back down in the basement, and him and I were talking, and then you guys, of course, you Barnaby were like, "Hey, you guys can exchange numbers later on," or whatever you said.
You guys are just down there chatting away, and I'm like, "Yo, exchange numbers later. We're here to investigate."
I remember that. That was pretty funny.
But I think we got pretty good, especially in that one room too, where the back room and everything from the stage. And
it just seemed like most of the activity we all experienced was in the basement with some of the sounds and everything. It definitely seemed like whatever, if anything or anyone was trying to communicate with us, it was definitely
or in that area, kind of in the area corner upstairs from the stage.
Oh yeah.
There was, because also I tried to sit with Ma and stuff, and we're on the opposite side of us. There was Maggie tried to sit, and she was getting a lot more action.
Madison?
Yeah, Madison was getting a lot more action over there on the one side. It's like crazy.
And then Mike was, having a blast, talking with the spirits on his talking. He kept having interactions with whatever on one of his devices, and it seemed like he was getting a lot more, interactions, and more than we did.
It just depends. Every night there's different stuff going on there. We have never had a tour without activity, though.
Really?
Oh, we definitely got it.
Has there anybody actually seen an apparition there?
I have. I don't know if anyone's ever reported one on an investigation. Okay. We've seen some shadow people on
Yes, I
the,
know,
the
but
investigations.
okay,
Typically, if you sit back in the VIP rooms and you look out towards the 2 exit signs,
okay,
right by that half wall, we usually see like shadows moving back and forth.
yep,
Well, this last investigation we had out there, we, myself and Ruby, followed with our eyes, a shadow entity that started, would be if you're looking down the stage toward the VIPs. He started out over on the right side by the big VIP room, and then
okay,
moved over to the women's bathroom, and
okay,
then came up behind Ruby by that half wall, and then I saw the shadow in the reflection of the neon logo
okay,
on the wall. I saw the reflection cross behind Ruby to behind me. And
okay,
then I felt like somebody had their hands on my shoulders.
okay.
And then the other people that were on the tour came down from upstairs, and everything stopped. But it was pretty intense there for a little while. We were following that
Sounds
for
like
probably 15, 20 minutes of just this dark feeling as this thing moved around the room. And that was our last investigation out there. So
wow, very nice. Yeah, you're definitely gonna have to keep me updated, or all of us updated on when you guys are available for public tours, investigations, this and that, because we definitely want to get back there, as soon as possible. That
definitely,
place
yeah.
is
We're
awesome.
we're looking at doing another actual maps investigation there. There's a few things that our team wants to try that aren't public. So
Barney,
I think.
my phone's dying.
All right,
My
man.
phone's dying. Sorry, man.
All right, guys. Well, it was awesome talking to you, and I will catch you later, and we'll see you next time, guys. Oh, well, they're frozen there, so it looks like that's all we're gonna get out of Robert and Jennifer tonight. But I hope you guys enjoyed their stories, and you can definitely check them out in March on our new episode of our YouTube series, Caps Road Trip. And you'll see them both as well in our upcoming UFO documentary this summer. And they'll be in Spirits of Macville. So they are just coming up in our team, and we'll catch up more with them later. So, guys, until next time, I'm your host, Barnaby, and we'll see you out there. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Whispers from the Dark. To find out more about cryptids, anomalies, and the Paranormal Society, visit us at our website at wisconsincaps.com. That's Wisconsin, CAPS.com. There you can find links to all of our social media: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and our Patreon. You will see links to our online store as well, where you can get t-shirts, DVDs, and more. If you click on the public events page, you can find out where you can meet us in person and all the public events we have coming up. If you enjoy our podcast or our YouTube shows, please consider becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/WisconsinCaps. There you can find behind-the-scenes pictures and videos from all of our media, as well as bonus footage and evidence that we have collected. If you have encountered something you can't explain, we want to hear from you. Visit our website and click on Submit a Report on our main screen. You can choose to leave your contact information or simply remain anonymous. You can also reach us via email at wisconsincaps@gmail.com. If you would like to be a guest on our show, please contact us on our Whispers from the Dark podcast page on Facebook, or send us an email at wisconsincaps.com. Remember to like, share, and subscribe wherever you listen or watch or find us.